I actually went to Ashley and I was like,
oh my God.
I'm in trouble. Like, I'm in money trouble. Like, this isn't good.
He was like, come have lunch with me and I'll like flip 2 omelets at once. I'm like, no way.
Watch these skills, baby.
Like, that's the money tension I felt though. Like I was like, every penny matters. I was crazy.
A little bit.
You see the vision. You want me to be there with the kids. And I feel like I had every plate spinning and I feel like I was like failing at everything.
Well, we have a net worth of $100 million and my kids don't want to hang out with me. I'd rather have the kids. I'd give all the money away for that.
Today, you're getting to meet someone that I know very well. It's my husband. Kyle's here. So he and I are going to talk about some relationship stuff because I feel like there was actually someone at the event that we hosted last week for some of our clients. And one of the questions was, or she was like, hey, like, how are you two and your relationship doing in relation to how like the business has changed? And there's just been so much that has happened. And I think from the outside, it's very easy to be like, everything is 100% perfect. And we are real humans and we absolutely have challenges. We have things we're overcoming together and we are not perfect. But I thought it would be really cool for us to just have an honest conversation about how things are going since the business has started rocking and rolling. And you own a business too.
Yep, it's a lot.
So tell everybody about, I think we should start with how we met. And then I think I want them to hear like what your business is like and kind of where were we when we first got together.
Yep. You want me to take that part?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so we met playing basketball. And it was in college. And we were, I was probably junior. She was freshman. And I had just broken up with a girl. And so she showed up to a basketball game. And then I thought she was hot. We had a little court chemistry. I did a little behind the back pass and
reverse layup, slow eye turn. We were like,
oh yeah. And that was pretty much it. Well, she was dating somebody at the time, but I took her on a date. I convinced her, and then the rest is history. I mean, we met on the basketball court, so it was pretty cool. Now we never get to play anymore because I'm getting old and my knees hurt.
I know. We do have to play more.
Yeah.
God. Because I really actually am the better basketball player, which is really cool. I really am. He knows it. Like, I beat you in horse every time we play.
That's not true.
Okay. It is. Anyway, so we met on the basketball court. Then you were like, I don't know if you remember this, but you were like, I make a really good peanut butter and jelly. And you like,
I do remember that.
Yeah.
And I still do.
You do. And so we had a peanut butter and jelly. And then he was like, hey, you want to go to church? And I was like, oh God, he's hot.
I made her biscuits.
He made me rocks that were supposed to be biscuits. But yeah, he forgot to use self-rising flour at the beginning. But it was like the effort that counted. Like you made a whole dinner for me. And that, what was that? What do you call a house that has the 2 parts to it?
Duplex.
It was a duplex. So he was like, hey, me and my mom live here. And he took me over and I was like, I'm going to make a romantic dinner.
So hot.
I was like, this is the dream. Like, he is making these biscuits. I'm going to eat it, even though it's hard as a rock. It's going to be so good. So anyway, I did not marry him for his biscuit skills, but I did love. We had so much fun together. We loved playing basketball. You loved your family so much. That was super important to me. And so here we are.
Yeah. Then I somehow graduated after almost 5 years of college and nearly not making it.
Yeah.
So that was fun.
So we both helped each other with things we were bad at. It was really cool. So I wasn't working and he wasn't using his brilliant brain. So let me explain. So basically, he was salutatorian of his high school. The guy has photographic memory, okay? And he was like making some B's on some stuff. And I'm like, you're the smartest person ever. And essentially, I think we did this trade. He's like, well, you need to work. And I was like, okay. So I went and got a job, and he went and got A's on like all the stuff that he did. Like your GPA was like, because you're.
Oh yeah, it went up for sure. I mean, at one point I was down to like I don't know, 2 point whatever, almost got you kicked out of school, and it was not good. And so between that and partying a little bit, I got it up a lot of bit.
Yeah, college.
Whatever.
So your parents, like, I feel like your mom had this agreement with you, and it was like, if you make a certain grade, she'll pay for your college, but then you didn't because it was a little bit of party time. And so then that's why we had like some debt at the beginning of our relationship, right?
Yeah, I don't remember exactly, but it was something like that. And I definitely carried some debt into my working years where I was not making a lot of money, and then I really couldn't pay it, which is also a funny story. I actually went to Ashley and I was like,
oh my God,
I'm in trouble. Like, I'm in money trouble. Like, this isn't good. I mean, relatively speaking, it was a lot at the time. And she was like, here's the deal. I'll pay it off. I'll pay off your debt, but we're going to write a contract.
And I want interest, baby.
Yeah. And then, oh my God, you charged me interest too.
I did.
So we write this contract. It was like, at the time I was like kind of desperate, but also like, is this how it's going to be? I don't know. So what I had to do was literally my lease was over at my apartment where I was living, ended the lease, moved in with her parents, and then saved all that rent money where I was renting, paid her back plus interest. And yeah, that's how the relationship kind of,
It is. Because I was like, let it
it's
borrow.
kind of the foundation.
It really was, because we found this. It was like a $3,500 car on Facebook Marketplace. It was a friend of mine's mom, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's $3,500. I have like $3,700 or something in my savings. I was like, I'll let him borrow it and pay me interest, write a contract, because we didn't have any money. Because when we first met, what I did.
Oh, but you paid off my credit card too.
That was a whole. Okay, so we have to talk about this. So you, when I met him, he was in a Dodge Neon. Okay, that barely worked.
Engine blew up.
It had like 400,000 miles on it. I was like, how is this thing still operational? So I always joke with his mom. I'm like,
that is the ugliest car that's ever been created.
Ugliest car. But I felt so hot. I'm like, he's on the football team though. And I'm like, I'm in the car in the Dodge Neon. It like has sounds when you drive it.
So I have like identity crisis. Like, I don't know if I'm like the jock athlete, the redneck who goes fishing and hunting and or the hippie dude, whatever. It just depends on what kind of mood I'm in.
It's true.
At the time, I was like in like this weird fishing and hunting thing. I used to literally strap a John boat on top of a Dodge Neon. Go look up a Dodge Neon right now if you haven't seen them. They're tiny little cars that are ugly. They're really ugly. I strapped a John boat on top of it with ratchet straps. And I went fishing with it. Literally would get to the pond or the lake and would like rip it off the top of the John Deere. God, look at me. Ripped it off the top of the Dodge Neon, threw it in the lake, and paddled around fishing. That was where I was in life.
And where I was in life is I was like, well, he's hardworking. Even though his car barely works, like I just won't look at the car. I'll just look at him. Like if I get distracted, I'll be like, okay, just look at him. He's hot. The car. I like barely saw it. And so I saw your work ethic. So you were on the football team and you worked before and after work. And I thought it was so hot because he was like, hey, I work at the dining hall. He was like,
yeah, that's so hot.
He was like, come have lunch with me and I'll like flip 2 omelets at once. And I'm like, no way.
Watch these skills, baby.
Watch these skills. And there's like a line at the omelet, the like omelet line. I'm like, dang, like people what?
You want my omelets, girl?
I did. So anyway, we start dating. We play basketball a good bit. And then you did move in with my parents because you got it. We both went to a career fair.
Because I was broke.
Right. And do you remember we wrote another contract? I think I wrote a lot of contracts with you. Do you remember it was like, hey, if you're going to get engaged.
We're in a contract marriage.
Kind of. No, not all the way. But like, what we did do is I was like, hey, if my parents are going to let you stay here for free, then use the money to pay off all this debt and like start a ring fund at $50 a month so that we can have
Oh my God.
Do you remember?
Oh my God. I don't remember that part, but did you really?
I made you write a ring. I was like, if my mom said that you won't have to pay any bills, but I was like, you have to pay off because you remember you stayed at that one apartment for 6 months. And then it was like, hey, take the money you were paying for the apartment and use that to like save in your savings account. I basically like made you save money or something.
When I was working?
Yeah.
I lived there for a year. Yeah,
wow.
I know.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So anyway, we had a lot of situations where it was like, let's pay off some of the debt.
It was bad. I've never been, well, at the time I was not good with money. So
yeah, we're better now.
it's gotten better.
It has gotten a lot better.
It's gotten a lot better.
Yeah, because you tell everybody a little bit like how you grew up. Like I remember the one thing that stood out to me was he had never been on an airplane until we had met.
Yeah.
That was crazy to me.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, in a lot of respects, like life was good in that both parents, loving parents, they were good people. Dad was a pastor of a church. Mom worked full time for a nonprofit called Habitat for Humanity, which a lot of people have heard of. But she worked full time, and we lived in the middle of absolutely nowhere in South Georgia. And wasn't a lot of money in the household, but everybody loved each other, which was cool. But didn't grow up with much. And also, when I moved to Athens to go to school, which is still a relatively small town, it felt huge to me. Like everything was crazy. And then that's when I started, kind of partying and getting a little sideways and all that stuff. But no, I mean, life was super structured, I would say, kind of strict growing up. Good in a lot of ways, also challenging in a lot of ways. So, yeah.
Yeah. So you have a sister.
Yeah.
So you have a sister, and she's a couple years older than you. So you walked on the team at Georgia,
Yeah.
right? And then we both went. So we obviously met on the basketball court. Well, when we graduated, we went to a career fair, and Kyle got a job, and I got a job, and that's where he went to move in with mom. So I'm just like going along our time span. And then you worked for another company for a couple years, or gosh, 5, 6, 7 years. Or are we at on our timeline when you worked for the other agent?
For Rick?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was from 2014 to 2018.
Yeah.
Yeah, January 2018.
And so like when we met, I was an only child, but I worked at O'Charlie's, and then I worked at Chick-fil-A, and then I worked at the event company. Like one thing Kyle was big on, he's like, you valued like hard work.
Oh, yeah.
And so I was like, okay, I'm going to go to work. And, when I started my job, I think both of us started our jobs, and we were making 30-something thousand each.
Oh, yeah. I might have cracked 36,000, maybe. That was
32.
with commissions. I couldn't tell then. I'm like, are you just a really bad salesperson, or is the commission rate that low? I don't know. Maybe a mix of both.
Yeah.
It was a little different then, but.
So it was hard for us
Yeah.
because like we weren't married yet when we first moved in together,
Yeah.
I think. But like we couldn't afford to not live together. So we were like, okay, we need to live together.
That caused a little tension in these Southern families.
Little tension. Mom and Daddy, like, okay. They did love him, but it was hard because like that we needed to live together financially. And I remember, I don't know that Kyle remembers this. I told this story the other day, and I was like, I don't think he remembers. I think he blacks out some of the things that we fought about when I was younger and not as smart or emotionally intelligent. But I remember getting so mad at him because he paid $3 to put guacamole on my Chipotle bowl. And I was like, I did not want that. That was $3. Like I remember, like
I do remember that.
I was so mad because it was $3. I'm like, that is where we were. I was that stressed. Like
No.
everything about
Hold
money
on.
is stressful. Okay,
This woman.
Okay.
Would go, I'm so glad this phase of life is over. She would go to Kroger. It was so embarrassing. We would leave the house, and she would have an envelope or like a folder full of coupons that she had clipped out. She would stand in line. She would stand in line checking out. There'd be a line full of people checking out with their freaking groceries trying to make it to dinner and cook dinner. And she's sitting there just handing them coupon after coupon after coupon. She'd stand there for 15 minutes handing them to them. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me?
You would step away.
Pay the bill and let's go.
He would step away. He's like, oh my God, she's got more.
Oh, I'd already go and start loading the groceries in the car. Like, this is ridiculous.
Like we wouldn't make eye contact. I'm over here like, but I got one more for the ground beef. I'm like, there's just one more. And he's like, oh my God. But like
It'd
that's
save like 13 cents. She's like, and that counts. And she'd write in a little notebook and perfect. Okay, I got that. And I'm like, you got to be freaking kidding me. Like, this is outrageous.
like that's the money tension I felt though. Like I was like, every penny matters. I was crazy.
A little bit.
I just wanted to remind you really quickly that if you haven't joined the Win with Paid Ads Challenge, the doors are closing soon. And just as a refresher, this is 5 days of you and or someone on your team learning my 5-part strategy to scale your paid ads. So day 1 is messaging, which is what you say and how you say it. Day 2 is setting, which is all the different places you can place your ads. Think Google Ads versus YouTube, Meta, or TikTok. Day 3 is targeting, which is how you can get in front of your exact right person. Day 4 is testing, so you can know what to test and how to improve your ads. And day 5 is scaling and profiting and how you can 10x whatever you're spending on your ads now so that you can have more profit and return and impact, which is ultimately what you want, right? So click the link below, and I cannot wait to see you in the Win with Paid Ads Challenge.
It's crazy. It's just crazy because
Still a little bit crazy.
Stop it. So like that's kind of where we were. Like although we had money, like I worked so hard for it. I was like, I'm making $7 an hour and I'm scrubbing toilets for this. Like I want to save the $3. Like that's half a shift of toilet scrubbing. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So that's kind of where we were when we started our relationship. We didn't have much money. It was probably one of our like bigger topics of like argument or frustration that we had initially. And then looking back, now that I own a business owner, I realized something. And it's hard. It's like I heard this quote and it said that you marry 2 people. You marry the person that you marry at the altar, and then you marry the person that they become. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I think we're about to celebrate year 9. I think we're about to be at 9.
2016, 20.
Yeah. So we're about to be 9 years of marriage, and I can definitely tell you in so many ways, like so much has happened in our relationship over those 9 years.
Well, that's in marriage. We dated for, what, 4 or 5 years before that.
That's right. So
2012, so 4 years. I mean, it's been, whatever, 13, 14 years.
And I know you've said this because there's like this kind of middle point in our marriage, and we decided to go to therapy. And you've gone to therapy every week since then,
Yeah.
honestly. And so we've seen so much of our relationship grow. But I feel like I feel like you are too. We're two completely different people. And I feel like there's been so many good things, but there's been some challenging things as we've like grown from having no money, being very stressed about money, every job, everything. I think I thought about money like every single day, all day.
Yeah.
We would like take turns on going out to eat. Like it was a whole stress thing. And then now we're at a place where our businesses have grown. Things are different. And it's
Yeah,
like,
but then it can turn on its head and go the other way. And then it's like, all right, well, just because you resent all that stress from not having money and the trauma of not having money and literally standing in line having coupons, you can't just go to the completely other end and just buy everything that you want, which we've also struggled with from time to time, where it's like, oh yeah, the money's there, let's just buy it. And it's like, well, I don't know if that's the right thing. You know, I'm not saying that's our MO, but it's happened before.
We've made really good decisions about money in general, but it's definitely like, even when there is more money, there's some disagreement on, well, how do we spend this money that we have that we've navigated through. But I wanted to share that one thing that you said to me, because last week at my event, one of my clients, she was like, man, everything just looks so amazing. And I'm like, there are so many good things and we are so grateful. And like Kyle and I have totally had some challenging times. And one of them has been like, since the business has grown, because your business grew and like everything that we did like was about your business.
Yep.
And then your business has been established. And then when I started my business, it kind of shifted where a lot of things were about my business. And so I wanted to share that one like hard conversation that we had where you were like, I think you told me, you're like, man, it's been hard for me because.
Well, so I know what you're talking about. And for the first, like, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 maybe years of marriage, it was like, all right, let's get your career going. Like, this is the future. This is going to be the major support of our family. This is our financial.
Yours.
Mine.
Yeah.
And so all the focus was there, which, to a degree felt good, also a lot of stress too. And it took a while to get there. But we finally built up my business, which is an insurance agency.
Yep.
And we finally built that up to where it was like pretty stable. And then it was like, all right, well, she decided she was going to start a business. I was like, oh, well, this is cool. Like, absolutely start a business. I didn't realize at the time it was going to be like, okay, this thing's going to be huge, comparatively speaking, to what it started with, which was nothing. This thing's going to be huge, and it's going to require a buttload of focus, time, energy, money, stress, conversation, arguments, resolutions. I mean, it's just over and over and over a big cycle. And it's been, 3 years, basically, of doing that, watching it go from ground zero. It was a concept in a car. That's where it started. It was an idea in a car, basically, or on a couch, to where it was like, I think I'm gonna create something. Like, that's where it started. And then it's like, all right, well, now it's literally our life sort of revolves around that business. And for me, growing up, I think that I was probably more used to having kind of traditional roles. And it came to what she's talking about, and this is kind of what I'm getting to, which is it came to a point where I sort of had to grieve the loss of not having a traditional role family. I think probably ego and pride takes a little bit of hit with that, to where it's like, I mean, at this stage of our career, and may be like this forever, like, she way out earns me, which is cool. Like, that's amazing. And it's definitely, there's a lot of perks to that, especially as a family. From a traditional role standpoint, I mean, it requires a lot of sacrifice on my part, and then saying, like, you know what? I'm not going to have that traditional role. Like, Ashley's probably not going to get the kids up every morning and pet them and hang out with them and stuff. Like, we literally have someone else wake our kids up every morning. And then I help get them ready. She'll kiss them going out the door. I'm not saying she's absent, but she'll kiss them going out the door. And she's already been working since 6:30 in the morning, or working out. And so, I mean, realistically, you come into a marriage with expectations, and everybody does. I don't care who you are, how good you think you are. You come into it with expectations, and then if you get blindsided with, holy crap, this is not what I expected, it's either A, going to cause a fight, divorce, or a deep conversation, and that's what we decided to do. So, and a lot of that came from the therapy that I do every week, which is not your fault.
Yeah.
I do it anyway.
Yeah, it's like my goal is that I'm not always the person that is not waking them up. Like my goal is to create a business where like I get to do what I want, when I want, how I want. And so on the weekends, like that's my like mommy time. Like my mommy time is I put my youngest to bed. Like Kyle and I tag team the kids. So Kyle does bath time with the boys, and then we do dinner as a family, and then we play as a family. Like 2 nights ago, we were out of breath sprinting around the house. It was really fun. And then we had bath time. And then he takes Easton and puts the oldest to bed. I put the youngest to bed. I rock him. I read with him. Like I have my mommy time.
That also didn't always happen. Like even that started with a conversation because there was a period of time, and I get it, right? I mean, I remember starting a business to where it was like there was no energy, no time to invest in family, relationship, me and you, none of that stuff. Like it was like I am just balls to the wall in the business. It might be 12, 13 hours a day. And not thinking through like, adapting to non-traditional roles. Like I was thinking she needs to be like more involved in the kids, and she's working 15 hours a day sometimes, sleeping just a few hours at night. And the time with the kids was getting neglected. Now, in hindsight, I kind of had to take a step back and say, okay, she's in super growth mode right now. Like she's in growth mode. It won't be like this forever. But I had to communicate that to you. That was like, hey, this is important to me. This is important to me that you put quality time in. And she did. She reacted well to it.
Yeah. No, it was hard because it's like I wanted to be there, but it felt like the weight of the world was on my shoulders. It was like I was like, I see all the reward that's going to come from this and all the time that's going to come if we can just get this to work. But it was like I could also like see myself wanting to be where I couldn't be, I felt like. And so for those of you that don't know the history, we went from 0 to nearly 6 million in less than 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And for a while, especially in the first year, it was me and one other person. And in less than a year, I've hired 9 full-time people on the team.
Yeah.
So I cannot tell you the level of growth. And one of the things that I keep saying is that there's no person that has an 8-figure business that did it in 2 years, that didn't have to make some huge sacrifices and stress. And so it's been hard for me because like the hardest thing I've struggled with is wanting to be more with the kids than I have been. Granted, like when my son was able to be home with me for the first year. So like I would literally be nursing him, holding a computer and like sending a voice message to a client. Like that was me for the whole first year. And thank God my mom like watched our son when he was young. So that first year in business, like my first year in business had a newborn. Like when I did my event for 150 people, I was going on stage, going back pumping, going back on stage. It was like postpartum version of me when emotions are high. It was so hard. And I could see like the pain on your face. I could see that you're like, you see the vision, you want me to be there with the kids. And I feel like I had every plate spinning, and I feel like I was like failing at everything,
Mm-hmm.
But we have had like so much good conversation, and you've sacrificed and you've seen me like delegate to be able to make space. Like there was one conversation, I don't know if you remember it, but you probably do. You were like, hey, when the kids come home, we need no phone then. I really want Sunday mornings to be no phone. Like we had some no phone zone.
Yep.
And it felt like I'm good with a plan. Like give me a plan and I can do it. And so it helped me. But now like my goal, I told Kyle the other night, we were sitting on the front porch and I was like, I'm willing to bust my absolute butt as hard as somebody can, but I can't do this forever. Like I don't want to work this hard forever.
Yeah.
Like I want the company to grow, but I want my time to be bought back. And so that is like, I feel like you can see the progress that we've made. It's just, we're in a growth year and it's been like really hard.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's growth few years, but that's literally from ground zero.
Yeah.
To creating something that, people want, they want to be a part of it. And with that comes huge time commitments. So, but no, it's come a long way. I mean, for sure. It's just not what everybody doesn't get to see on camera, which this is, the same for most people whose faces get on camera and they get to see the best parts and the what sells. And then all of a sudden you're like, hey, did they have this all together? Like this, are they the one perfect couple? Nope. Heck no. I mean, there is so much mess behind the scenes. And when I say so much mess, I mean, it's like, it's not falling apart. It's fantastic.
It really is.
But there's a lot of mess behind the scenes that the conversation, just like everybody else, like we have couch conversations, we have back porch conversations, we have tense moments. We have to step away every now and then. I don't know if anybody else does this, but it's like, hey, I'm going to take 5. Like, I can't keep talking about this. I'm going to take 5. I'm going to step away. I'll be back in 5 minutes. We'll wrap this up. It's like those things happen with us too. And it's not all flowers and rainbows and glitter.
It's not, because like our personalities are both strong.
Yeah.
And like what'll happen is in an argument, what happen is, well, our tensions will be high. And then this is something I've worked on, is I'm like, I don't want to say something I don't mean. You know, you say it in the moment. And so what'll happen is in an argument, sometimes like I'll retreat. I'll be like, you're right, you win, I'm done. Like you can have it. And what you've gotten really good at, like, or I feel like we both have, is like, we know when we should just like take a minute and not say anything else. Like you'll walk away and be like, I'll come back in about 5 minutes. And I'm like, no, I want it right. Like, cause then I'll chase. Like we have this thing where it's like one person is retreating. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so we're not perfect, but we've gotten to a place where we're like self-aware. We're like, yeah, we probably should just like breathe.
Yeah.
And then finish the conversation.
So one of the things that I had when I started the business, one of the things that I really value is just, I value my time, right? I mean, I just want to have flexibility, freedom. I hate people hovering over me, telling me exactly what to do every day. I can't stand it, won't do it. Obviously, when you own a business, you have a lot more autonomy. So when I went into it, like my motivation was, I want to make money, but I also want to make time. I got to the point where I was making a decent income, and I was like, all right, well, what I'm making in a year, like that's a good start. I can actually buy some of my time back now. As soon as I started buying my time back, and I started playing golf, I'd go hunting, fishing, whatever. I started doing that. Well, she decides to open up a business, and it's like, all right, well, cool. Well, if you're going to do that, now I get to watch the kids while I'm not working and do this. So, I still play golf on Wednesdays. I did that today.
Every Wednesday.
Still play golf every Wednesday.
And sometimes on Fridays as well.
But there was a period of time that I swear to God, I felt like guilty about doing it, because you would be working like really hard because you were starting up a business. You said, hey, what are you doing today? Are you golfing? And I'm like, why do you ask?
Yeah.
They're like, I'm just curious if you're going to work or golfing. I'm like, are you trying to tell me I need to go to work?
Probably.
Right. So it's like, hey, I where my career is and where my business is, like I'm good with that. That's what I built it for. That's what I valued, and I did it. I got the time back.
I think I was honestly just resentful because I wanted, I'm like, I'm working so hard. And like I saw me putting in every living, breathing minute before, during, and after each day. And then I'm like, oh, he did the whole point of why we started business, so that he could have that time. And I think I was a little resentful that I couldn't be there already.
Yeah.
And so, I think one of the reasons that like you and I have been able to navigate like hard conversations, hard things, is because we are pretty self-aware, especially when we take a minute and think. It's like, yeah, I see where you're at, you see where I am at, and you've gotten, ever since you like started meeting with Dr. Phil. His name is Phil. It's not the Dr. Phil, but it is.
I call him Dr. Phil.
It's Dr. Phil.
His name's Phil. So
his name's Phil. Ever since you got with Dr. Phil, one thing that I've just like drastically seen you do is you can communicate exactly how you're feeling, and you do it in a respectful way. And I feel like we would not ever, you would never be like the guy that talks about his feelings.
One of the first times me and Phil met, he was like, I don't know, we were talking about something. He said, how do you feel about that? I was like, what does that mean? I don't have feelings, bro. What are you talking about? Like, what do you mean how I feel? I feel great. He said, no, really, how do you feel? And I was like, okay, this is how this is going to go. Well, that was 3 years ago. So now I'm having to dive in, like, how do I feel about this? It's like, so whenever I communicate to you, I'm like, I'm going to be honest, like this doesn't feel good. Like, I'm getting a little pissed off, So
the other day, I called him. It was actually 2 days ago. I called him and I said, I'm having a really hard day. And I hadn't done that in a while. I was like, I'm having a very, very hard day. And I listed out everything that I had like done and accomplished that day. And he just, on the other side of the phone, he was like, that is a lot. That is very hard. And I started crying. I'm like, that's all I needed. I just wanted somebody to be like, I see you busting your absolute butt off. And I see you. And he didn't try to fix it. You were just like, I see you. I'm like, that is.
So I'm like most guys, like I'm a fixer. It's like, hey, I can fix that.
Totally.
No, I get it.
But
I still wanted to fix it, but I was like, she doesn't need that right now. So I'm just going to say, I hear you. I see you. I'm with you. I'm still your man.
That's right. So I think the last question that people ask is like, when we have these arguments, do you feel like we have some arguments that are like the same ones? And how do you feel like we overcome that? Like, it's not perfect.
Time. It's all about time. And for me, the biggest thing for me is presence with the kids. And I know that we've had so many recurring conversations about this. It's like making sure they're present with the kids, making sure that they know and they feel mom. It's like, it's not just, I know that she's my mom, like, but I feel her, I have a relationship with her, I have a closeness to her. And we don't get that time back. Like, we do not get this time back, period. Mm-hmm. This day will never happen again. They will never be 4 years old and 2 years old again. Like, it will never happen. What, we'll wake up one day and they're going to be 35 with kids, and we'll be hanging out with the grandkids. And I don't want to get to the point one day where it's like, okay, cool. Well, we have a net worth of $100 million and my kids don't want to hang out with me. I'd rather have the kids. I'd give all the money away for that.
And so I love you so much because you literally care about them more than anything. Literally money.
Yeah.
I think you'd be okay living in a tent if you had them, no matter what.
Don't get me wrong, I like making money. But at the same time, it's like I know where my values lie. I know where my priorities are. And I don't think it was always like that, but it's gotten like that. I mean, you know, you lay eyes on them and you're like, okay, now it changes. So I just don't want to get to the point where I'm like, okay, I would trade it all because there's one thing that money can't buy. They say money can't buy happiness, but I'm gonna tell you, you get a new driver in golf, or you know, a new toy or something, I get pretty happy. You can't buy your time back.
Yeah.
You can't buy your historical time back. That ain't gonna happen. You can buy your future time with it, but you can't buy yesterday back.
That's
so,
right. So we're just
I don't want to give that up.
So we're just navigating this journey of like, how can we have both? How can we be great parents, have a great relationship, and help a bunch of people with what we do for
That's
our
it.
business? So it's not perfect, but we're working on it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I love you.
I love you.